Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is lesson 6B, wide receiver positional analysis. Please start at the beginning. Lesson 6A. Actually, I think you ought to start way at the beginning of all my lessons, but it is what it is. Again, we are setting a foundational level for us to attack the 2023 draft. So I'm looking backward. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't look forward. I'm looking at megatrends, landscape data, just trying to get a feel for what's been going on recently. And I believe that hopefully will set the table for us to get deeper and find areas of potential interest. Maybe help us with our predictions for 2023. I mean, that's what we've got to do. Not sure many, if any, do this. I don't know what they do. Anyway, they is, of course, the experts on Twitter and etc., etc. Okay, so let's start here with this simple table. Okay, it's not simple. Nothing simple. We have year 2000 to 2022. We have the end of the season rankings from first. It's RK1, ranking 1, all the way to 36. So we're talking WR1s, 2s, and 3s. Okay. And landscape-wise, I wanted to colorize the data across. Green is the best, red is the worst, just to kind of see where we're at. And if you look all the way down here, 2022, nothing dramatic going on. It's 2021. How amazing was that 437 there from the first, but pretty much here. I do note that, we get some red, but it's not the worst. I mean, if you look back at 2003, the red started at position 17. That was not a good year for wide receivers here, and neither was 2017, 2018. We're talking 23rd here. So we were about 22nd in. A little bit worse than last year, which was, 208 was around, 24? We were 208, 204, about 22. So we, overall, was a little bit weaker showing for wide receivers, first to 36, but nothing dramatic. But that's where we're playing at this point. I don't think we will see a 2021 437. That was quite amazing here. We're tending to be above 350, 360, 370. That's a good year right there. Okay. And so in fact, 2021, I'm looking, that's the top. We've never had a top ranked wide receiver. I wonder who that was. I forgot. Anyway, there's the overall data, just to kind of get a picture here. So, you should get a feel for, probably unsurprisingly, as you get close to the end, the WR2s, things are not going to get as strong. I don't think that's a big surprise there. But, that's just kind of gives you a sense of what's going on. Another way to look at the same chart, but colorize it differently, is we go horizontal. So I colorize rank 1 to all the way down to 36. So now when you see a green, that is the highest in 23 years of that ranking. So lo and behold, the first 2021, the top was, of course, 2021 for rank 1. Okay, we had some other good years, but look at 16 and 17, some of the worst that we've seen. So things have gotten better. 2018 was a little bit weak. We're kind of in this era here, a little slightly green, but it could be better, but certainly could be a lot worse. Okay. And if you look at 2022, we had a pretty good second, third, fourth, even fifth and sixth. But notice seventh, eighth, all the way down to about the 16th. It was a little lackluster. We kind of had some goodness at rank 18 to, was it 21? Okay. And we had some goodness at the end of the wide receiver threes here. So you can kind of see, but we did not have a 2021 season. Look at that. Look at this right in here. Goodness. You could have done late round wide receivers and collected nicely compared to what we did in 2022. So this should tell you about variation. Okay. So people looked at 2022 and were thinking it was going to be 2021. And now people are looking at 2023 thinking it's going to be 2022 all over again. Just be aware, could we back to 2017? Probably not. Probably not 2019, but I don't know if we'll see 2021 either. So it looks like 2022 in the last 4 years was about a little bit on the downside, but nothing dramatic. But I don't think there's any heroes out there for us to catch. Again, this is end of the season. This is not ADP, right? I've got a whole bunch of stuff to say about ADP, working on that now. But this is after the fact, right? So we're looking after the fact. Okay. So again, you cannot ignore trends. You cannot ignore variation. You cannot just believe what happened last year is what's going to happen this year. This kind of analysis, this landscape, sees the big picture, and I'm hoping it will break you from this idea that, things in 2023 are set in stone. You would think by Twitter experts it's already done. Just a matter of sit back and collect your league championship. Folks, it's tooth and nail. And if you can make it to the playoffs, you've done about all you can do. Then it becomes some luck and, some other crazy stuff happens, right? Somebody's going to go off and, your league championship, if you make it there. And it could be on your team, could be in your opponent's team. And there's not a lot you can do. You get that weekly variation. Same thing, but now I colorize top 30 percentile in green, bottom 30 percentile in red. So I wanted to tease out and take a look at things. Look at 2016-17. Boy, that wasn't too far ago, folks. 2017 sucked. That was such a poor year. Look at 2019. Look at the upper group here. Sad. Last year we did pretty good. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So they were in the top 30th percentile. We had one bad year. Was it 13th? We had another one at 20th. But overall, we kind of had an average year. Look at 2021, which was a spectacular year. 2020. Even 2019 in the deeper segments here, so it's a little bit more linear. We didn't see that, so we broke that pattern. If there was a pattern, right, that, I can collect goodness down here in the wide receiver 2s and 3s, and that's not what 2022 versus 2021 will tell us. It tells us a lot of variation over the 23 years, so just don't think it was as bad as 2022, but I don't think it's going to be as good as 2021. So maybe we can get something in between. That would be nice. That would be nice. I mean, we're drafted. We all want that. I plotted. Here's the line for 2022 in red. Take a look, and it kind of falls with the rest of them. Here's 2019. Look how sucky 2019 was. Ooh, that sucked. The blue. And here is 2015. Really nice. Top of the line there. Okay. But notice how they start drifting together into the wide receiver twos kind of at the end. So you get this extreme values early and then a drop. Look at 2015, really steep drop, sad drop. So we want something close to this drop, right? We want some maintenance of values in our top 10 or 11, 12. Okay. But I'm just showing you that's not, for sure, right? We've seen, 2015 was extra sad. Okay. So don't get tricked here. At the end of the season, when you look at your diary, just kind of see where 2023 will fall. I will certainly catch us up on that next year when I do my positional analysis every year. And by the way, we're talking hours of work here. I don't know if you realize how much effort and time it takes for me to do this, okay, for all the big money I get, which is a zero. And, this is stuff that I'm doing anyway. This is my process, and I do this every year. I'm never satisfied. Okay, you cannot satisfy me. Okay, people on Twitter, here it is. We figured it out. Not me. I'm still scratching and clawing until the first kickoff. Okay, and I'm still not believing things. So, be skeptical. If you're paying some of these cats some money, I don't know what you're doing. Okay, I wouldn't do it. I don't do it. Okay, just don't do it. Okay, so I wanted to focus a little bit on 2015 to 22. So I understand people say, oh, well, 23 years, that's too long. So I gave you the data, and we looked at the top and the bottom 30 percentiles, and we can see 2017. Look at where the bottom of the barrel hit at 22, 2018 to 24. Last year, 2027. So, we all agree that about 27, 28, certainly 29, we're in that sucky part of this spectrum. But like I said, notice we hit that a little early last year compared to the previous 3 years. Okay, so just don't think it, maybe we'll get some goodness like this kind of stuff. As far as how sad it gets, you're pretty safe till the 9th. Some years we can go to the 12th, but I think 9th. But look at 2016, 7th. Look at 2017, 6th. So you get a variation of 6 all the way to 12. So somewhere in there could be variation as well. So just, once you see a wide receiver, ADP 7 and 12, somewhere those in there are probably not the same as the first 6. Okay, by ADP. Now, that's assuming ADP is exact. Good for us. It's not, and we'll talk about that. But if it was, that would be kind of where people would be thinking that kind of that half-tier concept. Everybody rushes for the top 6 ADP, and then, and so forth. So just shows the variation here. Here is the median numbers. I probably should have got rid of some of these. I don't know if I can at this point. Let's see what happens here. Can I? I don't know if I can get to that. Probably not. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. And here is the percentage drop over, what is this? 7. Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8? So we start seeing a drop of 9% by the second wide receiver over the last 7 years. Notice 3 is as good as 2. We do get a drop at 4, 15% of the top value. Notice 5 and 6 are about the same. We do see a drop at 7. 7 stays pretty good. Look at that. All the way, you still get 30% value out to 20. And so the worst we'll get is 53%. So we've lost half value by wide receiver 36. So you need to look at that data here, and I've actually plotted it out. So here is the median. Okay, right here. And by the way, what does running backs look like? Same metric. So head to head in the last 7 years, wide receivers are worth more than running backs after about the 6th. So when people start going a little crazy and do 0 RB, realize you're potentially hurting yourself if, here's the big if you can grab the top running back or even the second one, you're going to beat the 2 wide receivers at that position. On average, this is just median, right? They're going to start flip-flopping in 3 and 4. And certainly by about 6 or 7, wide receivers are catching more median value than running backs. People need to understand that. Okay? So when you do 0 RB, okay, you are saying that you can beat the ADP. You can beat the public. I hope your diary suggests that. Because if you can't beat the public, you're better off not going 0 RB. I'm just saying, grab, if you get a chance to grab an early RB, you should. If your data says you're just not good at picking them, because I think the wide receivers are going to maintain that value on down. They're going to be a lot more consistent than the running backs on average. And again, this is, after the fact. So you got to juggle that a little bit. And here's the drop in value. And we start seeing a big drop from the 5th running back to the, look at that drop. We do not see that kind of 7-year median drop that we do right there. And even, check that out, by the 8th pick. So the rug is pulled out from under you after the first 5 RBs. And this year, I think in best ball, the first 5 or 6 are going in the first round or 2 towards the early part. So you've missed the elite if the ADPs are exact, which they're not, which is good. But just if they were, this would be concerned. Look at the top WR this year, I think, is Jefferson. And then look at kind of 2 and 3 of the same. And then we start dropping. And then we have another break at the 7th. And we're a lot more steady than the drop value of the RB. So again, running backs are worth less than wide receivers just matched up 1-to-1. I understand league rules, PPR, variable slot, positions, in 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. There's a lot of mix and match here in all this, right? Superflex, that all confounds. But I'm just trying to look in a vacuum at this data here, which is kind of neat. So here we are, the difference in wide receivers and RBs, just showing the difference here, and the percentage drop difference. So the fantasy points is in blue, and we can see that the top running backs are of nicer value than the the wide receivers. And notice at that point, they're pretty close together to about 6. Then anything on the positive means wide receivers are worth more money. So you can kind of track that. And you see it starts getting a little bit bigger and bigger here, percent-wise. Okay, so by the 10th or so, certainly by the 13th, you've hit this plateau, and here you go. And it starts getting a little higher towards the 28th. You start getting even maybe that next level. Okay, just plotting the drop here. But the first 2 RBs historically are worth more than the top 2 wide receivers, if you can pick them. Look at Eckler last year. If you can pick them. There's the trick, isn't it? 2022, how did it look last year for wide receivers? And here is the pattern versus 2022. So 8-year drop, and here's 2022. You can see in some it was anything above, it was worse, some of these, but it was close to average on a lot of them. It was a little bit better, number 2. Number 3 is about average. Number 1 was a little below. So anything below is worse than the median, anything above here, and there's only 1. So last year, 2022, the second wide receiver was worth more than the median of the last 8 years. That's it. The rest of the time, they're pretty much on median or a little bit worse, actually. So we were worse here, 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 here. So in the wide receiver 1 type, after the 5th, we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about half those were worse than the previous year, the 8-year median. So it was a little bit of a, when I say it was a little bit of a down year last year, even in the top suite. So I think that's kind of neat. Okay. I think I'm going to stop here, right? Let's see what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah. That's a good break point. Okay, so that's the end of this. I want you to think about what we just talked about. I want you to get it in your head. And then we're going to tie in ADPs on those lessons. But right now, this is just in a vacuum. Don't knee-jerk any of this yet. Just marinate in this. Watch it again. Think about the data. Take notes. Add to your diary, etc., etc. But if you think any of my lessons you could just magically, quickly, drink 5 or 6 beers and listen to me, folks, Hoss, that ain't going to get it. You're going to have to work for it. Well, that's too much work. Fine. Then go, live on Twitter land and be happy and perky. And hopefully I'll play in your league. Okay. Come back. We're having fun.